says, okay, now send that energy out to someone who really needs it. And I just started gushing, you know, just gushing. I was thinking of my mother who was in pain, and I was thinking of a girlfriend I had who was just seemed to not be able to not make herself miserable, and create situations where she suffered greatly. Anyway, I asked her, I said, what is this? What is this? You know, because I really wasn't putting together a mental story to support the fact that I was breaking down, you know, just it was a cleansing. It was just a huge cleansing. And I've had several of those experiences, you know, some in India, but this was the one associated with the mantra. And it's a very powerful mantra. It's considered to be the most powerful next to Om, which is supposed to be, in Hinduism, the sound of creation, you know, the sound that generated, that generates manifestation. But it goes, Om Bhurabhuva Swaha, Om Tat Savitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat, Om. So it's quite beautiful. You feel it vibrate? It's lovely.
So what did Shanti Mai say was happening?
Oh, she just said, she just looked at me and smirked and said, "Oh, compassion happens." She was the feisty one, yeah. So she was definitely in charge. And it was a pretty big group, you know. She was, if she ever shows up, it's a real show. She shows up with her group in India sometimes, and they go sing in the ashrams. And you guys know who she is? Have you heard of her?
Heard.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Her guru is a guy that lives, an old man, very old man now, who lives in Rishikesh. His name is Hanj Raj Maharaji. And the last time I was there, which was in 2000, he wasn't so old. And she had come, and they'd fight, you know, somehow or another. And he told her, he says, "I'm just going to leave this ashram. I'm going to leave." So, you know, right when she left, he left. And then he came back a week later. He didn't say how long he was going to be gone, but he told her he was going to leave, you know, and they'd have these little guru spats. It was funny to watch. Yeah, but I'm sure she was totally devoted to him, you know. The power wouldn't be there if she wasn't. Yeah. That's my belief, you know. I could be wrong. Yeah. Yeah. These lives are very blessed. They, you know, the Hindus believe that if a person finds themselves in satsang, it's very, 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 very fortuitous. Because finally, you know, it could be construed that you're finally ready to quit dabbling and get down to business. Find yourself. It's like the ultimate empowerment. You know, once you give, and it's a deductive thing. You just take away everything that you're not after a, you know, rigid examination, and by default, you know, you'll start knowing yourself. You'll start seeing yourself. And the trick is you'll have experiences on the way. And you'll take those experiences to means the ego will gobble up those experiences and take them to be something, an accoutrement or something that can be added to who you are. And that's not the way it works. This is a knowingness, not an experience. Experiences come and go. This knowingness, once it's slow, you know, it may be small, it seems small, but it's steady. It won't change, it won't move. Hi, welcome. Yeah. Oh, my pleasure, our pleasure. Yeah, yeah. So?
Do you believe in reincarnation?
I don't know. I don't believe in it, you know. In other words, some people would have a hard belief in it, but I don't disbelieve in it. I just don't have a way of knowing. One time I had a girlfriend who was really into past life reincarnation, and I realized if the relationship was going to continue, I had to go to this seminar that she was having in her home in San Gabriel. And so I went, and we got hypnotized and went through, you know, I guess I was hypnotized. I didn't feel hypnotized, but we went through it, and you know, you close your eyes and you imagine your hands, and there's all kinds of little tricks you use. And there were 6 identities that showed up, but I'm not sure whether it was my imagination. They were really interesting characters. There was one woman, you know, some girl that was like, I think she might have had Down syndrome or something, and she was going boo, boo, boo. It was me, you know, in this little shack, you know, so it jumped the sexual lines. And there were several female births in there. So the answer is that I don't know for a fact. To the point, you know, I'm interested in knowledge, not belief. I guess to me, belief is a substitute for knowledge. And I can remember in one satsang, I had kind of a feisty fellow, and he was really busy telling me what he believed. And I said, hey, you know, don't tell me what you believe. Tell me what you know. What is it that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt? And really, when you really look at it, if you really, really spend some time looking, the only thing you can say for sure is that I am. And that's the only thing you can prove, because you're showing up here is the proof that you are. Almost everything else is conjecture. So the teacher Nisargadatta says this fact, I am, is the only capital you have in this game, you know, of self-inquiry. So find out where this I amness is arising from. Because even that, when you go to bed at night, the knowledge I am goes into abeyance, and in the morning it shows back up. So where did it go while you were sleeping, you know?
Unless you have lucid dreams.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess I should say the deep sleep state. Yeah, good. Thanks for the correction, but you're right. The Longkavatura Sutra that we were talking about earlier, one of the things that they just, you know, proposed at the end of it is that this is all a dream. And that being true, then the only thing that's possible here really is lucid dreaming. You know, it's the highest possibility here. So that's interesting. It's an interesting idea. But I don't know that it's a dream, see. I could believe that it's a dream, but I don't know it. Yeah. But I know that I am. So if I want to know myself, and I'm not an object, and by not being an object, it would mean that I wouldn't have any qualities by which to know myself, then the only way I could know myself is simply by being myself, as I said earlier. And that's an interesting discovery, but I think everybody has to come to that for themselves. You know, he says you could parrot me and it wouldn't do any good. You know, you have to know it. It's about knowingness. It's not about belief. You know, I told the guy, says, don't tell me what you believe, tell me what you know. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. Tough guy. Anyway.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Because there's so much based around belief. Like
right.
If you believe, then you have the faith.
Right.
And then you have a knowing.
Right.
So does everything else just melt away?